Hey to Z, domain to genus here, and welcome back to 11 Enlightenments. Over the past 6 or so months, I have uploaded infrequently a series called 11 Enlightenments, and in today's episode, we're going to give you one extra enlightenment on each of the previous subjects. So, without further ado, here is 11 Extra. Though poppies are often thought of as a symbol for peace, they have also spurred conflict, namely the First and Second Opium Wars. Before these wars, the British East India Company had been auctioning opium to be sold into China. Opium was at the time illegal, and the actions taken led to conflict between the countries, and later France and the USA also joined the fight. The care and feeding of Takahe chicks by both parents and occasionally older siblings is evidently effective, as chick survival rate among Takahe is upwards of 73%. However, breeding itself is not as successful, and humans have had to intervene by removing infertile eggs and hand-raising some Takahe chicks by sock puppet. Less than a week after uploading the bison video, I came across a BBC News article about the ancestry of the wisent, the European bison. Though it was known that the American bison's ancestor had formerly interbred with ancient yaks, a study of ancient bison bones found that the ancestral steppe bison seemed to have interbred with the Oryx, the ancestor of domesticated cows, to give way to the wisent species too. The kakapo's names all translate to descriptions of the animal. Kaka and po in Maori translates to parrot and knight, and its scientific name, Strigops habroptilus, comes from the ancient Greek meaning owl face, soft feather. The scientific name is particularly apt given that the kakapo is also known as the owl parrot. Although the 11th Prime Minister of New Zealand described their attitude to humans as more like that of a dog than a bird. Upon its discovery, the iguanodon's tongue was initially thought to be prehensile, like a giraffe's. This was disproven though in more recent times, as more complete skeletons came to light. Evidence for this comes from the fact that the hyoid bones of the iguanodon are heavily built, which suggests their tongues were muscular and not prehensile. Speaking of observation mistakes, the Oryx appears to have been the inspiration for the myth of the unicorn. Both Aristotle and Pliny the Elder believed that Oryx were the mythical creature's prototype. This origin can partially be explained by Oryx having horns made of hollow bones, which cannot be regrown if lost, which could lead to a one-horned Oryx, and thus the legend was born. Walruses have the slowest reproduction rate of any pinniped species, giving birth at most once every 2 years. This is because ovulation for walruses is suppressed until the current calf is weaned, a process not aided by the walrus having a relatively low fat content milk for a pinniped, and being the third largest species of them. They, however, are the largest species of pinniped, or indeed any land mammal, when it comes to the baculum. Despite the malice commonly associated with the Eurasian magpie by Europeans, the species is celebrated in China during the Evening of Sevens festival. Also known as the Magpie Festival, the festival takes place on the 7th day of the 7th month and was inspired by the tale of the Weaver Girl and the Cowherd, which was first told over 2,600 years ago. During the tale, a flock of magpies creates a bridge over a river, which represents the Milky Way, upon which the lovers may meet once a year. The scorpion species Heterometrus swammerdami presently holds a record for being the largest scorpion, growing up to 23 centimeters. This species, aptly named as giant forest scorpion, is not usually lethal to humans, as H. swammerdami is so large it can usually crush its prey in its pincers without having to worry about a need for venom. In 1977, the oldest known salmon fossil was discovered and named Eosalmo driftwoodensis, Driftwood Canyon being the name of the territorial park where the fossil was found. This species is believed to be the most primitive salmon known, rather than an intermediate step between salmon and graylings, and suggests that originally, salmon did not migrate to sea, living entirely in fresh water. The largest living marsupial is the red kangaroo. However, the largest marsupial ever known was the giant short-faced kangaroo, Procoptodon galea. Standing at nearly twice the height of the red kangaroo, though the smallest of the genus was shorter, P. galea was so huge it seems unlikely that it would be able to hop as normal kangaroos do. Instead, it is thought it used to walk in a similar fashion to hominids bipedally, and instead of grazing like modern kangaroos, it was able to browse from trees and shrubs. And with that, this has been 11 Enlightenments. See you next time.